Hello, Triad. It is 6:30 on our Friday. Hopefully you're having a good, really end to your week here. And as we get closer to the weekend, we have more weather to talk about. It's something different every day, of course. And this time around, we're talking more so about the wind potential going into tonight, tomorrow, into tomorrow afternoon. A lot of problems could result as part of our wind. So we're talking about that. We'll talk about the cold air that's moving into our area. Right now, everything pretty calm at the moment outside. It was a little exciting earlier, though. Let's take a look at the radar that was across the area earlier today. Here's the view. We have a cold front that's swinging on by. And if I show you the wide view first, that we can kind of go from there. So earlier this afternoon, right around lunchtime, we started to see a good amount of snow moving through West Virginia, and into parts of North Carolina. Now, you might be saying, well, hey, it never snowed at my house. Well, yeah, me too. It wasn't for all of us, but there was this snowfall that mixed in just a little bit in parts of our area. And let's talk about why that is. We have cold air that's rushing in. We don't have a ton of warmth at the moment, but there was this brief opportunity where some of this did change over to some snowflakes. And the reason that that can happen is, we're cold enough, not really at the ground, it was well above freezing at the ground, but cold enough above our heads. The air above our heads right now is very cold. And so if you were in the 40s today, it probably melted into raindrops, but otherwise, we did see some of that snow coming down. I'll show you what I mean. Here's some video from King, North Carolina. And I love this one because Bradley knows how to do it. Bradley knows what's up. This is a slow motion view of some of the snowflakes. And look how big some of those are as well. I mean, really, we're talking about some what we call aggregate flakes sometimes. An aggregate flake, that's when you have multiple big snowflakes that actually kind of cluster together and they form bigger snowflakes. And this was really cool to see. Think about, for a second, in past winters, this would have been a big deal. It would have been a really big deal just to get an hour of joy watching snowfall. Well, right now it's kind of ho-hum because we've done it so frequently together over these last couple of weeks. So it's been about 2 to 3 weeks here where we've had that snowfall moving on in. Areas that did get a little bit of this action earlier today: Surrey County, Stokes County, and Rockingham mostly. That's where I saw most of the reports. Otherwise, we're looking at mainly dry weather now going through the rest of our weekend. Although we will be keeping a keen eye on the mountains. Those areas could start to see some really snowy conditions going into this evening, overnight tonight. For the winter season, we're well above our average. The yearly average is about 7 to 8 inches for a whole year, a whole winter season, I mean. We're over a foot, and still plenty of time left to go. We've got more than half of February remaining and all of March, so we'll see what happens. Let's talk more about your weather pattern, what's going on. Obviously, the headline is going to be this: our weather impact alert for high winds, also for cold. The wind part, that's where we're talking about gusts that could get as high as 50 miles per hour. The cold part, that's where we're talking about the winds that make it feel colder and those low temperatures in the teens. So it'll be feeling like between about 0 and 10 degrees. That'll stay with us tomorrow and also into Sunday morning also. So those are problems that we'll have to consider. Charge up your devices. You can never be too careful with this sort of thing. I'm not saying you're going to lose power. Most of us won't. But there is the potential of at least scattered power outages, which is to say we could have a couple thousand around the area. So let's watch and see where they pop up. But if you've got your devices charged up, you'll be in better shape. And remember, bundle up. If you're headed outside, this type of cold is intense and not one that you want to mess with all that much. We have a wind advisory. This is for the entire area, really. It's between now and Saturday evening, and really most of the worst of it should be tomorrow morning through tomorrow afternoon, but a wind advisory through tomorrow evening is in effect. For the North Carolina mountains, it's a little bit more severe up that way. They've got a bit higher potential for some wind. In fact, we call this a high wind warning. That's when you could see winds as high as 60 miles per hour. So it does depend on where you are in the area as to what kind of winds you're going to see. I'm going to take myself off the screen here so you can see this full. This is a look at the wind gusts overnight tonight. So take a look. We're right now at about 4 to 5 a.m. That's when the winds really start to crank. So maybe not that gusty right now or later this evening, but by tomorrow morning, that's when things start to get a little heavier. And I do think that those higher wind gusts will continue through the early morning, past breakfast, through lunchtime as well. 35 to 50 mile per hour gusts are possible. And tomorrow afternoon, they should get a little bit more manageable, closer to that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. And then tomorrow evening, even less than that. So it's really a overnight, morning, and lunchtime concern by and large. The temperatures, well, they're not going to be pretty either. And the wind chill, that's what I'm showing you right now. This is the wind chill. It's going to be pretty tough. So it'll be very low tomorrow morning. It'll be low tomorrow afternoon, still feeling like the teens, even in the warmest part of the day. So lots to talk about when it comes to tomorrow's forecast, and it doesn't make it any easier to take, does it? High temperatures will be in the mid-30s or so. There's lots of sunshine, so just kind of a good day to stay inside, stay safe as those high winds are whipping across the area for tomorrow. If you're wondering, well, what's causing all this wind in the first place, it does have to do with this cold front that's moving on by. We're also caught in between low pressure over here and high pressure to the west of us. So when you're in between two areas of low pressure, that's what causes wind to happen in the first place. And that's something that we're going to see going into this weekend, is just a big pressure contrast, a big pressure difference all throughout the Carolinas and really all up and down the East Coast. So just kind of consider, we're not doing this for no reason. There are reasons for that. A quick refresher, air always wants to go from high to low pressure, and in that case, that's when the winds happen. They do travel in curved motions because the Earth is spinning all the time. But bottom line, the higher the pressure difference, the stronger the wind that you're going to have, and we'll have a pretty strong wind over the next 24 hours. Let's show you the 7-day forecast here now. We have our weather impact alert running through tomorrow, all the way through the evening time or so. And then on Sunday, I have added at least a small chance of a couple snow showers Sunday afternoon. I don't think that's a big problem, but it is something to keep an eye on. Going forward from there, we'll be in the 40s for Monday, 50s to near 60 by Tuesday, and into the low 60s by next Wednesday. There will start to be some rain chances, though, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So keep an eye on that as we go into next week. We'll be right back, joined with Brittany Van Voorhees in about 2 minutes.